Hello, good evening from the Nobadeer Beach, Nantucket Island, Massachusetts, United States of America, North America. Uh, if you look, if we look a bit to, if we look off in the distance, you will see the airport. I did a video when our number two, the Vice President, Pence, was here. If you look, you probably can see that the plane was parked right there. We're just looking at it from a different angle. Okay, I would like, again, to do a political video. And I will get back to COVID. As I said in my last video, COVID is the #1 priority, and I'm going to get right back to that, probably in the next video. Tonight we're going to talk about politics. And we're going to talk about Bernie Sanders, who I mentioned several videos ago. And a lot of this is directed actually towards him. But before I go into that, if you're interested in politics, science, healthcare, history, I'm going to cover many topics over this time. If you're interested, please subscribe to the YouTube channel Philosophy Pop-Up Workshop, if you so wish, if you find this interesting. Okay, now I'm going to go into the talk. Bernie Sanders has been an absolutely brilliant politician for many, many years. And it started locally. He was the mayor of Burlington, Vermont, which is a fairly small city. I mean, in the US, it wouldn't even be on the list. Very small. Then the senator from Vermont, and then on to national politics in 16. And he has some very, very different ideas than you will find with the Republicans, or I'm sorry. Well, no, actually, that was correct. On the right. And on the left, you'll find Bernie. And somewhere in between, you will find the corporate Democrats. What Bernie is trying to do, and we will see, because it's actually a long-term project, and he may or may not ever rise to become president or vice president, or he may never actually reach the top offices, but what he has done is absolutely extraordinary. And he's actually set the left. And he's influenced not just one generation, but 2 generations of Americans, which is utterly extraordinary. And given the demographic of modern America, his ideas are going, I think, are going to come to fruition. If people just watch, they also need to participate. But I think all of this will manifest. It may take years from now, 2020. Let us see by 2030 what has happened in this country. He has inspired a great number of people. And I would add some specifics before I finish the talk. A lot of the younger people who voted for him in 16, like myself, they didn't vote for Hillary. Please, young people, on this round, if you don't like the Democratic alternative to Bernie, and by the way, I voted for him again with this primary, please don't sit at home. Please vote. There's a vast difference, even with the corporate Democrats. Even with if you look at the donor lists, the top donors, the Democrats, it sickens me. I understand that. But there's a radical difference simply between them and the Republicans, let alone what has happened to the Republican Party, which is in my mind, is off the shelf. It's actually, it's beyond the extreme right. They've actually dropped off the table. It's like dropping off the world. So please, millennials, this time, if you're disaffected, you didn't do it in 2016, please, I beg you, on this round, please vote. And what I would say is all Americans should vote. And people should be thinking about the suppression of voting and how much goes on here to keep people from voting. If there is a huge voter turnout on November 3rd, the Democratic alternative will win in a landslide. It's all going to be about the numbers of voters. And bear in mind that we had over 100 million Americans in 2016 who did not vote. And think of think of that compared to our peer countries. And we do have peer countries. I mean, maybe we think we're above, but we're not. Look at Australia, 95% of the populace votes. Look at New Zealand. Yes, they're small. Look at Germany, okay? That's not such a small country. Please go out and vote and speak your conscience. And even if you're from states where you think it doesn't matter, and believe me, I'm from one, Massachusetts, my vote isn't worth very much compared to somebody from Michigan or Ohio or Florida, where things are right on the edge. Everybody knows how the Massachusetts vote is going to go. But please go and do it no matter where you're from and vote your conscience. And if you get out there and you do it, or hopefully you can mail it in if you wish, please do it. I implore you to do it. And on that, good night and God bless.